You have found what lights you up. I'm your host, Sunny the Life Coach, and I'm here because I see you searching for something or someone out there to help you feel better. Something to take away the pain that you're feeling, the inadequacies. I know all of the things that happen in life can leave you feeling empty. Your search is over. This podcast is all about finding your own freedom and power to love yourself enough to shine in the ways you were always meant to, the ways in which you are already fully capable of. If you're ready for some real talk, some serious truth bombs, and a few F-bombs, you are in the right place. Let's do this. Let's get lit. Hey there, welcome to episode 45. Y'all, do you know what it means to be on episode 45? It means I am only 7 weeks away from a full year of this podcast. Oh my God, how amazing is that? I love it so much. I really do. I was having this conversation with my friend Carol last weekend. In fact, she was recording our chat for her own podcast. Check it out. The Living Well podcast. I'll link it up in the show notes. It was so much fun. We talked about how we both launched our podcast in March of last year, March 2020. It was pretty special. We just had a fantastic visit over Zoom, of course. We kind of geeked out over the bond we've created and honestly enjoyed our time together. And having that experience with Caro on the heels of having discussed the way that we tend to focus on the negative aspects of our past got me thinking that I wanted to follow up this week with the type of reminiscing that we tend to do with our past that have us longing for things to be the way they were. Like I said, memories are fascinating. You see, we do it both ways. We either replay something that happened that we wish hadn't, or we romanticize the parts that we love and wish we could go back to that time. Now, I don't know about you, but the older I get, the more I find myself thinking about childhood and how freaking great it was, which is absolutely hilarious because, as you may recall, we couldn't freaking wait to grow up. Well, that was dumb. No one could tell us any different either. That's how we are as kids. We are so damn stubborn. We think we know everything. We think we can't wait to reach our independence, but that comes with a shitload of responsibility. And we just didn't even know how good we had it, did we? It reminds me of that song, Stressed Out by 21 Pilots. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when our mamas sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. That song is brilliant, I just have to say. And I love also the part that says, my name's Blurry Face and I care what you think, trying to please all the people. It's ridiculous. So I thought it would be a nice follow-up to check in with you about what you're missing out, about the good old days, and whether you think the best days have already happened. I think it's important to take a look at those thoughts because I see it all the time. I see it in myself too. Can we just go back to that time when things were simpler, when our mamas rocked us to sleep, when things were easier, less stressful? Well, no, of course we can't go back. Instead of wishing for a do-over, as we tend to do when we have feelings of regret for having done something wrong, we wish for a do-over of the good parts of our life, like a replay, the parts that we couldn't even see when we were in the moment. How crazy is that? But here's the thing, it works the same way as the negative memories that you have. You might be having a thought that things were better then than they are now, that they could never be that good again. And those are just thoughts. That's all they are. They do not have to equate to your reality. You may think that where you lived, where you grew up, was the most wonderful place. You may think that now because when you were actually having that experience, you couldn't wait to change it. You couldn't wait to kick that dust off of your shoes and see the world. So nostalgia. Yes, that's what it is. Nostalgic thoughts about your past, wishing you could go back there and life was better then. Just like your future there is no better than here, the same principles apply to your past. You know you can't go back, so why does your brain go there? Well, this is why I say that memories fascinate me. They are honestly pliable. They can be whatever you want them to be, and no one can ever take them away from you as long as you remain of sound mind, lucid and aware. You can shape your memories to whatever you want them to be. Now, what if you could do that now? What if you could do that with your life today? I mean, do you believe anything is possible? If you don't believe that yet, please try it on for size because it is true. You are the creator of your reality and your own experience of this life. If there's one thing that I do wish for, it's to have had this knowledge and awareness sooner in life. But, oh well, here we are. I have that awareness now. And that's the thing that I have to catch myself on when I say it. I have to call my own bullshit. Because what if it happened exactly as it was supposed to happen? And that means when it happens as well. What if that's true? What if things could be simple now? Living in the time of a pandemic has certainly stripped a lot of our expectations for sure. We expect things to be a certain way, and then we have to grapple with the fact that they are not anymore. We have been living in a state of blissful ignorance, and then we come to a place of heightened awareness. That can be a beautiful thing. In fact, I've been embracing it. It's definitely been a process, and it's been a whole lot of growth. How about we look at that, our growth? Because I think what we do when we put on the lens of the parts of our past that we'd like to return to, if we are truly honest with ourselves, we'd want to return to it from that place of growth and awareness. We want to be who we are now and just go back to the way things were then. Like when our grandparents were still alive. Maybe when our parents were still alive. Perhaps when our parents were still married. Oh, how cool would that be? Or for me, I think about the times before everyone got a trophy or a medal just for participating. That shit didn't happen when I grew up. I earned them all. My mom was downsizing a few years ago and she found a box of all of my trophies in her attic. She offered to send them to me and I said, that's cool. Trash them, I remember. All I could think about was how much dusting I would have to do if I accepted those trophies back. And I didn't need those physical representations to remember how it felt to walk across the stage and receive award after award. I also remember how shallow I was then. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I was shallow because I thought receiving those trophies meant that I was adored and that I had pleased all of the people and that I was a good person. I was shallow because I hadn't fully developed and grown. I didn't fully understand yet. I understand more now. But I certainly wouldn't say that I have arrived when I was in 8th grade. I wouldn't say that I'm finished now. Because I think the day you finish is the day you die. You have nothing more to learn and nothing more to give. And I know that may sound deep, but that's what I've come to realize. So that's what I mean when I say we don't really want to return to the good old days as we were. We often long to return as the person we are now. We want to bring all of our knowledge, experiences, and awareness back to that place and just be blissed out by it. We want to be in awe of our capabilities and to own our worthiness. And we want to still be very young while carrying that wisdom. I want to go back and be appreciative of the people that we love dearly and tell them so because we will know that our time together is limited. We still want our do-overs. We want them with the good things as much as we want them with the bad. We wish we could turn back time to the good old days. It all comes back to regret, doesn't it? Either you regret the things that you said or did because you are now reflecting on them as mistakes, or you regret not having said or done the things that now you wish you had said or done in the happier moments. Bonnie Ware famously speaks of this in her book, The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying, A Life Transformed by the Dearly Departing. Now, full disclosure, I have not read this book myself. It's still on my list. But I am very familiar with the top 5 things that Bonnie observed in the amazing human beings that she was caring for at end of life. If you aren't already aware of these top 5 regrets, here they are. Number 1, I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Number 2, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. That's a cat's in the cradle moment right there. Number 3, I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. Oh my, how about a hell yes right there. Number 4, I wish I'd stayed in touch with my friends. Number 5, I wish I'd allowed myself to be happier. So these are the people on their deathbed that Bonnie is talking to, and this is what they said. It is incredibly profound, is it not? And yes, I think that living through the past year with the pandemic has really gone a long way to opening our eyes to these things. I'm going to talk through them from my perspective, and we'll see if we can agree on some of them. Let's just break these things down. Perhaps it's a good thing that I haven't actually read the book yet, because I'm just going to go with my own thoughts about each of these top regrets without having been swayed one way or another. Let's do a breakdown together. Sunny's thoughts. Number 1, I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. I mean, there's a reason this is number 1, isn't there? I'm pretty sure she lists these in order of the responses. Think of all the choices you made in life just to please someone else. These can be big choices or small choices, anything from where you went to school and the career that you chose, to those small decisions in the moment like what to wear or how to style your hair for an event. Regardless, it's always about what other people think, isn't it? You learned to assign your value based on the approval of others, and later you may regret it. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. But if you were not true to yourself, it stands to reason that you might. You might wish you had done things differently. Number 2, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Okay, are you familiar with the song Cats in the Cradle by Harry Chapin? You should know this one. It's had several remixes over the years. Google it if you don't already know every damn line of this song like I do. It's so good. Basically, this dad is not even experiencing his son growing up until it's done. And then he wants some time with him, and his son is like, nope, sorry, gotta work. That's the moment that the dad realizes that his boy is just like him. Why do we think there's some reward for hard work? Because that's what we've been programmed to believe, to buy into. Number 3, I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. Now, this could very well be going back to the good old days, right? Like, have you ever decided that you wouldn't express your love because what he or she would think if you did? Would you be rejected? Would you be mocked? What if you said what you meant and meant what you said? Like with your coworkers or your boss. Perhaps there would be consequences, yes. But perhaps there would also be that growth, learning valuable lessons about living life. We rarely do that in the moment because we don't want to rock the boat. What if we had the courage to express ourselves authentically? Number 4, I wish I'd stayed in touch with my friends. Now, these can be childhood friends or these can be friends that you've just connected with in recent years. Sometimes we find that our childhood friends aren't the same people that we knew in 2nd grade. Of course they aren't. They've grown just as you have. They may have developed a distinct and complete opposite set of values and beliefs than what you have now. That's where we can really get into trouble, thinking that they will be the same now as they were then. That they will still be the people that you want to hang out with. And you cling to those memories because, well, life was simpler then. We had sleepovers where we watched Purple Rain on repeat and we just loved each other. What about friendships you've made in recent years? These are especially important now, aren't they? Set up a Zoom session, FaceTime, or other video chat. That can bring them closer even if they are far away geographically. But you have to do it. You have to show up for it. You have to connect. And I'm not just talking about the technology. Really visit with your friends, the people that you love now. Creating the time for that isn't as hard as you're making it out to be in your mind. It's absolutely soul food. Don't go wishing for the 7-year-old version of that friendship that you remember so fondly. Just show up. Stay in touch, especially if you can't do it in person. We do have the technology to make this happen. It's amazing. Number 5, I wish I'd allowed myself to be happier. Wow. This is a big one, isn't it? You should know by now that we have the ability to create our own happiness with our thoughts. Why wouldn't we allow ourselves to feel as much of it as humanly possible during our limited time on this earth? Well, I think the biggest reason that we don't is that we are consumed with regret over the mistakes we have made, or our own thoughts of the good old days when life was better, easier, and simpler. Or we think that we will feel better when we get there, when we reach that lofty goal that we have set for ourselves. Think about this one. I wish I'd allowed myself to be happier. You have the power and ability to allow it right now, today, in this moment. Why would you not seize it with both hands, hold on tight, and enjoy the ride? No matter where you are in life, whether you are exactly where you imagined you would be or far from it, you still have the choice to enjoy it and be happy right now. You can allow that. Reflections and memories can be fantastic exercises. Just don't get stuck there and allow yourself to believe that those were the best times. The reality is that the best times could be ahead of you, and they could also be experienced right freaking now. It's always your choice to allow the best times to be your current experience, to allow yourself to be happy in this moment. Not when you get there, not thinking about when you had those good times so many years ago. Right now. Yes. Seize the day, seize the moment, live your damn life now. It has been my observation that many of us wish to return to high school. I am not sure why. I personally hated my experience. I truly did. Maybe it's because I'm the mom of a tween and I know he's looking forward to getting there. And so I find myself recalling my own experience, and I find myself recalling the experiences of my peers. Many of us want to return to the body we had in high school. I know I've caught myself reflecting on that, and I share a similar story with many other coaches out there who have come to their own realization that simply having that body wasn't enough. I've said myself that, sure, I recall being thinner, yet filled beyond capacity with self-loathing. So it's not about the number on the scale, the shape of your body, the length of your eyelashes, or whether you have great hair. All we have to do is shine the light of awareness on that ideal scenario to realize it isn't any of those things, and it never was. It's not about any role that you've held in life, and especially those roles in the good old days. Maybe it was the quarterback, the head cheerleader, the first chair flute in band. Okay, that was me, and that part was kind of cool. Or the lead actress in the school plays, the beauty queen, the cool kids, the nerds, all the cliques that form during that time. I acknowledge that time was when we honed our ability to perform for others. We were right on the cusp of adulthood, which I will remind you that we couldn't wait to get to. Yet we weren't yet saddled with all of the responsibility that comes with it. So I have observed that many of my childhood friends cling to that time as the pinnacle of their lives. That's when they reached their greatest heights in their journey. Of course, that's not true. Your truth is what you make it. As Rumi says, I once had 1,000 desires, but in my one desire to know you, all else melted away. That's what I'm talking about. Know you. know thyself, learn to love who you are in this moment, and everything else will fall into place. When we reflect on the past with either regret or longing to return to it, we aren't living in the now, and we aren't getting in touch with who we really are. We aren't allowing ourselves to open up to the happiness that is always available to us right now, where we are, when we are, and who we are. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. In every moment you have a choice. You have a decision to make, and you can make the decision to embrace everything that life has to offer, or you can make the choice to reject what it is now and long for the return of the good old days, which, by the way, you know isn't even possible. Either way, it's yours to make in this moment, your choice. Your memories, yes, they are both fantastic and fascinating. Just don't get stuck there. Don't get stuck in your regrets or stuck in your longing. Everything is happening as it's supposed to happen. You were amazing then, and you are still amazing now. There is no regret in that. None whatsoever. Listen, I appreciate you being with me as I indulge in these conversations about the past. I think these topics are so important because we tend to find ourselves reminiscing a lot. I know I'm not the only one who does that. That's why I'm offering a brand new 30-day course. Feel better than fine no matter what. We'll talk about all these things. Dwelling on the past, feeling guilty, comparing yourself to others, wishing things could be different, wishing people around you could be different, how you show up for others, and most importantly, how you show up for yourself. All of the things, and it's going to be interactive. We'll have daily conversations about the things that are keeping you stuck, and I will also do weekly group coaching sessions. This is going to be so lit because all of the things that are happening in this world and the behaviors of others don't mean a thing when you are living this life with a managed mind from a place of awareness and ease. That is where your freedom lies. That is your power. I'm going to show it to you. 30 days to freedom. 30 days until you will feel better than fine, no matter what. We start on March 1st. If you're hearing this later, don't worry. I already have plans to offer it again and again because I already know how amazing this is going to be. Simply check out the show notes for a link to be placed on the waiting list for this course. I will be publishing the registration details to those on my list first. If you are able to get in by March 1st, 2021, fantastic. If it's a later version, know that it will be just as excellent, if not more so. Just get on the list. Commit to connecting with me and showing up, and I promise you'll feel better than fine. Oh, I am so excited to be offering this. I absolutely cannot wait. No reason that you should wait either. Get on it, light up, shine on.